Good afternoon. I'm State Representative Mark Bourne from the 39th Assembly District, and I work on criminal justice issues as a member of the Joint Committee on Finance. Joining me today is State Public Defender Kelli Thompson, Dodge County District Attorney Kurt Klomberg, who is the President-elect of the Wisconsin District Attorneys Association, and Judge Randy Koschnick, who is the Director of State Courts. Also joining us are a number of our colleagues in 5 other press conferences around Wisconsin. Legislators, district attorneys, public defenders, judges, and other court officials are joining us to make the same announcement regarding Assembly priorities for criminal justice in the next budget. I also want to thank Speaker Voss, and who asked myself and Representative Loudenbeck and Representative Schra and Representative Spiros to kind of take the lead for our caucus on organizing these initiatives that we're unveiling today as Assembly Republican priorities in the next budget. Assembly Republicans are announcing our support for criminal justice initiatives that improve our system from start to finish. Our ultimate goal is to keep communities safe, locking up offenders and rehabilitating individuals to become successful, contributing members of society. Governor Evers has voiced his support for criminal justice reform, both on the campaign trail and since he's been in office. Most of his statements have been about releasing criminals. We know that to meet his population reduction goals, you will need to release violent offenders. We do not support easing sentences on offenders. Assembly Republicans support access to a fair trial, treatment alternatives for those who need them, and setting individuals up for success as they re-enter society. Assembly Republicans are committed to making investments to make sure all citizens impacted by our criminal justice system are given quicker access to a fair trial, constitutional protections, while keeping our communities safe. To accomplish these goals, we support the state public defender request to increase the private bar rate to $70 an hour. Support funding the district attorney's request for additional ADA positions across the state, about 60 positions. Giving our counties additional funding through the court system to make sure they can appoint attorneys for those who need them. And supporting and funding pay progression requests for both state public defender and assistant district attorneys. Further, we support evidence-based programs that divert individuals from jail and prison and put them on a path to recovery as long as individuals finish those programs. We will again be increasing our investment in treatment and diversion courts, known as TAD courts. Every $1 invested in the TAD program yields almost $2 in savings to our system. For those who do end up spending time in prison, we support initiatives that help them become self-sufficient, contributing members of our society upon release. We will be investing more in reentry programs and worker training. To help with substance abuse and other health problems, we will advance policies that will make sure that ex-offenders will transition back into the community with the necessary information and resources to continue their health care regimens and treatment plans. Finally, recognizing that we are facing a shortage of correctional officers, those who are responsible for keeping our institutions safe, we will be investing in initiatives to retain quality employees. We are hoping to work with Governor Evers in the upcoming budget to implement these initiatives. These initiatives are tough but smart on crime. With that, I will turn it over to State Public Defender Kelli Thompson to comment on her area.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Representative Bourne, and to your colleagues for their support of these vital priorities for the criminal justice system. The Public Defender Office fulfills a fundamental constitutional obligation in Wisconsin, and certainly one we should never take for granted. The 2 public defender items included raising the private bar rate and pay progression for our staff attorneys are of extreme importance to our justice system. The low private bar rate and the negative impact it is having has been reported widely in Wisconsin media. The lowest hourly rate in the nation is resulting in more and more private attorneys refusing to take conflict of interest cases from our agency. It is not uncommon for our appointment secretaries to make more than 500 contacts in relatively standard cases just to find a private attorney willing to take the case. This delay in appointing an attorney, which can stretch for weeks, is felt throughout the state's criminal justice system. Counties are paying more to detain people who are still presumed innocent. And in some counties, they are paying for attorneys at county expense just to keep the case moving forward. Court calendars are delayed as judges and prosecutors aren't able to proceed with the cases. Our clients are often detained in jail longer than they should be, and evidence shows this comes at a human cost. And victims are having to wait longer for justice. Increasing the private bar rate, providing pay progression, and making all of these other important investments a stated priority will enable all of us in the criminal justice system to work together to protect Wisconsin's communities and guarantee the constitutional rights of individuals. Thank you. District Attorney Klomberg.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. Representative Bourne, my name is Kurt Klomberg, and I'm the District Attorney for Dodge County. I'm also the President-elect of the Wisconsin District Attorneys Association. The prosecutors in Wisconsin from the Wisconsin District Attorneys Association and the Association of State Prosecutors have worked with our colleagues from across the justice system to identify the areas that are in most critical need for additional resources. We are pleased that the Wisconsin legislature has identified several of these proposals to include in their justice package announced today. The current caseload demands for Wisconsin prosecutors have created backlogs in many Wisconsin counties and have left victims waiting for resolution of their cases. The additional 60.85 positions proposed today will move us toward more efficient and effective prosecutorial units in many areas of the state and help us address backlog and caseload demands. In addition, the merit-based wage increase system, known as pay progression, is a critical mechanism designed to help district attorneys keep our skilled prosecutors working for the citizens of the state of Wisconsin. We strongly support proposed additional funding for assistant district attorney pay progression proposed today as a means to help our most skilled prosecutors keep working for justice across the state. Thank you to the members of the Assembly for their leadership on this issue today. We look forward to working together with the Assembly, the Senate, and the administration to get these important issues funded in the next state budget. Now I'd like to turn it over to Judge Koschnick.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Judge Randy Koschnick, the Director of State Courts. I have a statement to read from the Chief Justice of the Wisconsin Supreme Court, Patience Rogensack. This legislative initiative moves Wisconsin forward. If enacted, it will support essential constitutional guarantees. The proposal has three key elements. First, to raise the rate for those attorneys who provide constitutionally required representation to the poor to $70 per hour. Second, to authorize additional necessary district attorneys. And third, to increase support for the counties who are the state's partners in Wisconsin's circuit courts. The proposal is an example of what I hope will become a partnership among the three branches of government for those issues in which we all share common ground. I will monitor with great interest the progress of this proposal as the legislature and the governor work to address serious concerns in the administration of Wisconsin's criminal justice system.
Thank you. I can take a few of your questions.
Is Representative Steffen's expungement proposal part of your package?
It is not, mostly because most of this is budget initiatives that will be spending in the budget, and that would be a policy item, and that is a bill that is currently I know it's been circulated because I signed on to it. I don't know if it's been introduced or not yet, but good bill, but just not part of the budget initiatives.
What's the Republicans' response to Governor Evers' proposal on marijuana legalization?
Other than some very recent media coverage this morning, and we haven't seen much on this, or we certainly don't have any details, so we haven't had a chance to caucus on it, discuss it in any way. So we'll certainly look at that, as well as I'm sure a number of other things that the governor overall in his budget, the details, and then we'll have caucus discussions and have positions at that point.
Would you be in support of legalizing medical marijuana and decriminalizing small amounts of marijuana?
We'll take a look at his details, and we'll have a caucus discussion on that at some point.
What's the
JR?
funding mechanism to reimburse the private attorneys take up to defend indigent people?
The funding mechanism is the same as it is in current law. We're just increasing the rates and funding those.
Mark,
So-
in the fall, the DAs, public defenders, DOJ, courts were pushing about $70 million that they wanted a package.
Mhm.
What is your price tag for this? And does it include the request from DOJ for additional crime lab positions?
The price is around $50 million right now, and it does not include the DOJ request simply because that request was put together by the prior Attorney General, and we have a new Attorney General, and so we're respecting his office and his ability to craft a budget, and we look forward to hearing more about that. I know he's put a few things out in the last couple of days. I saw one media story, I think, in the Cap Times on it. But we're looking forward to hearing more about that and letting him work with the governor and legislature on his priorities.
The other piece of the request is they were making this unique pitch that if you guys don't like the price tag on what they were talking about, to come back to them as a group and say what price tag works. Are you guys going to work with those organizations if you decide $40 million is good enough or whatever in the budget to have them divvy up that money, or how's it going to work?
I would imagine that we'll work with stakeholder groups in the budget process as we usually do.
What steps are you taking to retain correctional officers? What are you specifically proposing here?
There are a number of things that are being proposed, and so we're looking more at investment at this point, and we'll work out in the budget process the details, but I think it's likely there'll be wage changes, and then you can look at the last budget for some examples of some initiatives that we passed in the budget that were vetoed. That could be opportunities for that also.
When you talk about the 50 million price tag, is it just for the DA portion of it, or is that for everything you're announcing today?
For the initiatives that we've announced today, we're probably around the $50 million mark.
Per year, or?
For the budget, for the biennium.
What all does that cover, though? Can you break it down?
Not off the top of my head, but as we work through the process, I'm sure we can do that, or we can give you some better ideas of that later. But it's that's about the price tag.
Okay, but does that include the increased pay for prison guards, plus the ADAs, plus the reimbursement rate?
That's
And drug and alcohol?
that's what we're targeting for the packet for all the initiatives that we outlined today. Yes.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Do you want to raise pay for public defenders and district attorneys? Do you also want to raise pay for assistant attorney generals?
I will wait and see what the Attorney General's budget is, and I don't know if that was part of the original package or not off the top of my head.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.